man, the injury bug just keeps attacking the Philadelphia 76ers again and again this season. Joel Embiid suffers another injury again, and then a day after we hear that Jared McCain is going to be out indefinitely due to having a meniscus tear in his left knee. Philadelphia 76ers this season just cannot catch a break at all, and this season might be a write-off altogether because you've had Joel Embiid, who's missed significant portions of the season due to personal reasons, left injury, knee management, etc. Paul George missed 10 games early in the season after suffering one of the most sus injuries I've ever seen in my life. Tyrese Maxey also missed a 6-game stretch due to injuries, and now you have both Joel Embiid and Jared McCain, who is looking great as a rookie so far, with injuries all over again. And for Joel Embiid in particular, you kind of feel a little bit sorry for him, man. I mean, it's been injury after injury for this guy throughout his entire career. He just cannot stay healthy. And there was a list going around online about the injuries he's had every single season since he's been in the NBA. And it's just an extensive list, man. I mean, from 2014 to 2016, you have a fractured foot. From the 2016 season, you have a meniscus tear. The next year, orbital fracture, then knee tendonitis, then a dislocated finger the year after that, then a partially torn meniscus again, another orbital fracture, a sprained LCL, torn meniscus again. Then he suffered Bell palsy, and now he has a sinus fracture after getting hit in the face in the game against the Indiana Pacers the other night. Now, it's reported that Joel Embiid is going to be looked at by some specialists over the weekend after his injury is reviewed in full via MRI, X-ray scans, etc. They're most likely going to have a timeline for his return. And to state the obvious, we already know that when your body is that large, you're a lot more prone to getting injuries just in general, just because a body that large is not supposed to be able to move in the way that a basketball player's usually move. But I think it's pretty clear that overall Embiid's body just cannot handle the wear and tear that comes from a physically demanding sport such as basketball throughout an 82-game season, man. I mean, his body just cannot handle it at all. I mean, if I put up that list and show you all the injuries he's had, it looks like this guy is playing a completely different sport. It looks like he's damn near playing in the NFL or something with all these injuries he's suffering. It's kind of crazy. And it's also kind of sad too, because Joel Embiid definitely is a superstar, but it looks like these injuries are gonna, one, shorten his career, and two, mean that he's never ever gonna be able to make it to the heights that he would envision for himself as an NBA player. I don't think that Joel Embiid is ever going to win an NBA championship. I think these injuries are going to continue to nag him. And as he continues to pile on these injuries as he gets older, it's only going to get harder and harder to recover. Joel Embiid is already 30 years old, which is considered a veteran in the NBA. You've got a solid rookie in Jared McCain, and you just re-signed Tyrese Maxey to an extension this offseason as well too. Not to mention that you signed Paul George. The time to win that championship window is now. You got 3 to 4 years max to be able to get a championship win for Joel Embiid, or that window is closed forever. And man, real talk, we gotta know who put a hex or a curse on the Philadelphia 76ers, because they have just been absolutely going through it this year. I mean, how is it even possible to have this many injuries so close in the season? Like, matter of fact, the NBA as a whole has had an injury bug this season. There's been an unusually high amount of NBA players who've been injured at some point this season. And this is something that the NBA is seriously going to have to address, because you cannot have your star players being out for extended periods during the season. The NBA is a star-driven league, and for you to have your biggest stars out of the game is a big no-no, and it's one of the reasons for such a large decline in viewership recently, amongst other things. Now, I'm not sure what's going on and what's causing all these injuries myself. I don't know if it's a compressed schedule, is it how these players are training, or is it load management? Because there's no way that these players should be more prone to injury these days than they were 10 years ago. The game definitely is faster paced these days, but with the larger emphasis on 3 balls and less physicality in the paint overall, you would expect there to be less injuries in the NBA overall, not more. As it stands right now, the Philadelphia 76ers might have to do some Kansas City Chiefs level black magic, sacrifice a couple Swifties to be able to get back in the playoff race, because right now they have a record of 7-16, and they are 12th in the Eastern Conference as it stands today. And things look real bad because of all the injuries, but realistically, the Philadelphia 76ers are only 4 wins behind the 8th seed. Currently, the Indiana Pacers hold the 8th seed with a record of 11-15, so it isn't that unrealistic to think that when Joel Embiid comes back from his sinus fracture, that the 76ers could really put together a run and be able to creep into the playoffs at the end. Now, do I think they'll go far in the playoffs? I don't think so at all, but I do think they definitely have a possibility to creep in there. But let me know what you guys think. Comment below. Do you think this Philadelphia 76ers team is cursed? Do you think it's over for Joel Embiid? Or do you think there's still an opportunity in there with Paul George, with Tyrese Maxey, with Jared McCain for them to be able to creep into the playoffs and potentially turn this thing around? Sound off in the comments below.